Good morning, everyone. You know, I just got to say, I just went and watched some of the videos from last week. And every morning I come in and I'm high vibe going, good morning, everyone. and I kind of have to laugh at myself with that sometimes. Yeah, anyway, it was just a thought that came into my head. So, good morning, everyone, and a happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I'm losing track of days. Happy Wednesday to you all. I've been up since ridiculous o'clock again. I'm going to get my sleep patterns in order pretty soon, I reckon. So, yesterday we used DARE, the DARE system, to really look at what self-doubt is about. And today we're going to use DARE to look at how you can overcome self-doubt in your own life. So to help you guys do that, I've done what I've called an inspirations and guidelines document. Hey, Nicole. An inspiration and guidelines document, which kind of just sets a few things out for you. And then part 2 of that is a blank worksheet for you guys to print out and really look at an individual situation that you might be experiencing self-doubt with. So I'm going to run through the inspirations guidelines document, and then I'm going to post the whole thing up in the group after this. And you know, you can print that out, and when you have time and when you're ready to face what's causing your own self-doubt, you've got a tool there that you can sit down and really think about things, because you know, it is about thinking about it. It is. Hi, Jackie. It is. You do have to think about this stuff. It doesn't just magically go away. You know, if you want to set yourself up right, then you've got to understand what's going on in your head. You've got to understand what's going on in your heart. You've got to understand what's going on in your body. And then the next time that something happens, if you've worked through the process as a process once, the next time you do it, it takes much less time to go through it. And then the next time you do it, it takes much less time to go through it. What we're doing here, guys, is learning new habits. We're overcoming not just self-doubt, but, you know, the habits and the behaviors that have been instilled in us throughout our lives. And we're all putting our, hey, Victoria, we're all putting our big girl pants on. No, you don't need a hammer, Jackie. You don't need a hammer. Get rid of the hammer. That's too harsh. For some reason, the word sledgehammer just came into head. I don't know why. I don't know why. Once you learn the processes and once you understand yourself well enough to go, hang on a sec, I recognize what's going on here. And now that I recognize that, now that I understand that, I can do something about it. We're all about empowering ourselves. I mean, you know, seriously, who wants to spend the rest of their life having someone else tell them what they have to do and how they have to live their life? Who wants that? I don't. And I'm assuming that you guys don't either. So, you know, when I talk about being empowered, that's what I'm talking about. Take control of your own life. Take control of your thoughts, take control of your emotions, understand them. Understand them so that you can acknowledge what's really going on. This is the situation. This is how I feel about it. This is what I think about it. Now let's get rid of that crap and see what's really going on. I don't mean that thoughts and emotions are crap, because they're not. They're all indicators of what you're experiencing, but they can cloud your judgment. So in the processes that I introduce to you, you know, sometimes I'll invite you to welcome your emotion. Other times I'm going to ask you to acknowledge your emotion and then remove it. Okay? So I could come across as, well, that's not what she said last week. Well, because last week we were talking about something completely different. And there is no hard and fast rules about how to process every different situation in your life. And this is why, if you set yourself up with the right tools, with the right mindset, with the right ideas moving forward, you start processing this stuff like that, right? You're just kind of going, yep, great, doing that, doing that, doing that. Oh, I acknowledge this is going on. Where's it coming from? What's it triggering? Now that I know that, I can move past it. And when you do that, honestly, because I had a big one happen to me over the weekend, and the minute that you acknowledge what actually is going on with that situation, you feel it leave your body. You feel it. It's like a bubble pops and you go, oh, that's what it was about. Wow. And that's what I'd love for all of you to experience, to empower yourselves enough, to acknowledge yourselves enough, to understand yourselves enough, to go through these processes and experience that pop of release for yourselves. Brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Brilliant. I want all of you to be able to do it. So, how do we do it? Okay. See, I get all passionate. I start talking and then I go, well, I've got to follow my notes. So, that's what we're doing. So this worksheet is an inspirations and guidelines for a specific issue that you are going through that is bringing up self-doubt. Okay, so I'm going to again walk through this, then I'll post it up in the group. In the define aspect of this, define, assess, refine, execute, which is what DARE is all about. Hey Derek, nice to see you here. When you're looking at self-doubt, the define aspect is what aspect of you, your values, or your personality is in question. Okay, it's quite all-encompassing. Thank you, Jackie. It's all-encompassing. So it's when you're talking about self-doubt, it's not one aspect that's being questioned. It could be a multitude of things that are being questioned, or it could be something quite specific. So I'm going to go through that. It could be questioning your ability, knowledge, or intelligence. And that could be speaking to either your physical ability, knowledge, intelligence, mental, or emotional. Okay? So 3 aspects of 3 different things. Okay? So it could be any one of those. It could be that you're experiencing self-doubt. Oh, yeah, I know, night shift, yeah? Oh, sweetheart, I feel for you. But I'm up at the same time as you working, if that makes you feel any better. Is it an issue around support or reaching for independence? This could be triggering something, to do with self-doubt in you. So phrases like, I can't do this on my own is what springs to mind. So that's kind of going, well, how am I going to do this? I don't know how to do it on my own. So that speaks to support. And then here's the big one. This is what I went through over the weekend. Is it questioning your integrity? So if something, you find yourself in a situation and you go, wow, this is actually, this is making me question my own moral levels. It's making me question my own integrity. So it could be any one of those, and it could be something more. This is about you guys looking at yourselves and identifying for yourself what it is that's being triggered. So in the assess part, assessing is about acknowledging the thoughts and the feelings, okay? Because they need to be acknowledged. You can't just sweep it under the rug. You can't. Because how do you fix something if you don't actually know what's going wrong? I don't know. Yeah. So assess in this instance is also acknowledge. Acknowledge your thoughts and feelings. Why do you feel this way? Now, from this point on, we will be touching on stuff that we went through in defining what self-doubt was about, but bear with me. So, again, 3 things at play here. It could be your past experience, so things that we talked about yesterday, something similar happened in the past. I've tried before and I failed. I tried and I was made to feel stupid, or I felt that I failed. They are issues that are with the past. So you've got to dredge up some shit from the past to go, well, what's being triggered and why am I feeling this way? It could be a combination of past and future, which is I tried and it didn't work, and now I don't know what to expect moving forward. I want to do this, but I really don't know what's going to happen. Or I tried and it didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. So past, future. And then there is just the future aspect of it. I was told it wouldn't work based on someone else's experience. So you've already made a determination on how it's going to work out in future, but you haven't made that determination for yourself. You've based it on someone else's experience. This is a really big one. When we're looking at the future and we're looking at self-doubt about the future, I have to make new rules for my behaviour and my life. We have to push boundaries. We have to look at the rules that have been imposed on us or self-imposed, and we have to start pushing those boundaries. We have to start doing things differently. Oh, scary. What are people going to think? Who am I going to become? All of these things come into it. And that is all future-based. Yeah, so boundaries and rules. Big part of this. Big part of self-doubt when you're looking towards the future. We then get to the refine aspect. Right, yeah, Nicole. We get to the refine aspect, which again, keeping in mind, is about reframing the idea and applying radical honesty. If you can be radically honest with yourself, I was going to swear then and I won't. I will. Fucking good on you. If you can be radically honest with yourself, no one can touch you. If you're radically honest with yourself, no one can say anything that you don't already own. How's that? How's that for empowering yourself? I admit this about myself. What are you going to say? So, in the refine aspect, what we're doing is we're removing that emotional fog. We're looking at the facts and we're owning our actions and our behavior. You have to own it. You have to. And you can't lay blame on someone else's doorstep. That is disempowering. You are giving your power to someone else. It's their fault that I felt this way. No. Absolutely not. Never, ever, ever. You own it and you don't lay blame elsewhere. That doesn't mean you beat yourself up. Hi, Brianne. That does not mean you beat yourself up. It means you apply radical honesty without emotional fog. Okay? So, the statement I've put in that section for you is, if I look at my past experience without emotional fog, then I can honestly say that, whatever, it could be, I didn't have all the information to make an informed decision. I didn't set realistic outcomes. I didn't have the right kind of support. I didn't seek the right kind of support. Again, we're owning it. It's not that, oh, I didn't have the right kind of support. Did you go out and look for the support? Did you go out and find people that would support you and understand the process that you're going through? By just saying, I didn't have the right kind of support, you're laying the blame at someone else's doorstep. No, I didn't go out and seek the right kind of support. Why? It doesn't matter. At this stage, we're removing the emotional fog. We're owning our actions. Okay? I allowed someone else's opinion to be more important than looking inwards at my own opinions of myself. This is another really good one here. I stood fast and continued, even though it didn't feel like it was the right thing to do, because I worried what other people would think, rather than review my progress to suit my changing needs. Now that's a very long statement. I'm going to read it again. I stood fast and continued, even though it didn't feel like the right thing to do, because I worried what other people would think, rather than reviewing my progress to suit my changing needs. You're more worried that other people are going to say things like, oh, well, they give up. Oh, they failed. Well, screw that. Really? Screw that. If you've made a decision and you go along this path and you go, this is not working for me, who the hell is someone else to tell you you have to keep doing it? Why on earth do you have to keep doing something that is not working for you? Why? Isn't it smarter to be able to go, look, I'm even sitting up straighter, look at that. Isn't it smarter to go, actually, now that I find myself in this situation, I'm strong enough as a person, I'm confident enough in myself to acknowledge this is not the right thing for me. And I'm willing to let it go because it doesn't serve my purpose. Try that one on for size, guys. Rather than, nose to the grindstone, you've got to do it this way and you've got to do it that way, go, hang on. That actually doesn't work for me. I respect myself enough to acknowledge that doesn't work for me. And I don't have to keep doing that. I don't have to worry about whether people think I'm a failure. Why? I could go, this is a topic all on its own. I could go for like 2 hours talking about this, but I won't. And the last part of refine is I didn't make room for the new information or a different outcome. So you're kind of so steadfast, it's got to be this, and it's got to be this, and it's got to be this, that you completely miss anything going on around you that is new information. New information to kind of go, all right, so the situation of the Titanic. Yeah, we're going there. They realised too late there was an iceberg. What happened? If they'd realised a little bit earlier, they would have been able to change course and nothing would have happened. All of those people would have gotten to their holiday destination. Think about that next time you are, following someone else's lead instead of looking into your own heart. Am I being a Titanic in my own life? Am I heading straight for the iceberg and I have no control? That should never be the situation. You always have control. You always have control of what happens in your life. As soon as you remove the emotional fog, as soon as you acknowledge that you are or not, thank you, Eva. As soon as you acknowledge that you are or you're not adhering to someone else's boundaries or someone else's perspective, you get to steer your own boat. You get to see that iceberg before you even hit it. And you have the power in you to go, not going the iceberg route. Designing my own path. And that's where I'm going. So, that is the refined part of the process. Reframing with radical honesty. Then we get to execute. And the execute is about eliminating the emotional fog and empowering yourself with the facts as they are. Not the facts of what happened 10 years ago or what happened 5 weeks ago or even, what happened yesterday. It's about the facts as they are now and who you are now looking at these situations. So, you apply the lessons of the past rather than allowing them to control your future. Apply those lessons. I didn't put the brakes on fast enough. I'll be a little bit more vigilant. I didn't see that there was the turn off. I'll start looking for road signs. Apply the lessons from the past. Don't let them run your future. So in applying the lessons, what you do is you go back and you have a look at your reframing with radical honesty, and you determine, do I have new goals? Do I have new timelines? Do I need to investigate different avenues to get what I want? Have I done my research? Have I found the right kind of support? Because these are the key things that people fall over with. Now, this can be big issues or small issues. It doesn't matter. You know, the words that I'm using all relate to big issues. They're big issues now. Once you process through big issues, you're going to have small issues. You're going to have these little tendrils of stuff that come out once you pop that cork. And that's okay. Because once you go through the process and you know what you're doing, the next time it happens, you go, oh, I know what to do now. I know that I have to define what I'm actually feeling. I have to acknowledge my thoughts and my feelings. I've got to get rid of the emotional fog with radical honesty. And then I'm going to apply the lessons and empower myself. Oh, sounds so simple when I say it, doesn't it? Once you've applied the lessons, then you get to reclaim your confidence. Because, sit up and pay attention. Once you know your own mind and you own your actions, you start to build authentic confidence by honestly recognizing your strengths, abilities, and weaknesses and playing your best game based on that. You get to play your best game being your best person. So cool. You're no longer at the mercy of other people's opinions, of course, unless you ask for them, because you stand firm in the knowledge of your own abilities. You stand firm in the knowledge of who you are. So unless you want someone else's opinion and you go out and seek it as a support mechanism, other people's opinions then don't count. They can't even touch you, seriously. If they do, then you still have a little bit of work to do, and that's okay, because again, you know the process. I'm going to end this on probably the most important part of self-doubt. Never, ever, ever compare yourself to someone else. Ever. This actually becomes complete and absolute self-sabotage. Now, I'm not saying you don't look to other people's success as a model for what you want to achieve. By all means, have your inspirational leaders. Have your people that you look up to. Use their behavior as modeling of what you want to become. By all means. But don't gauge your success based on what you perceive to be their success. You really want to do the work? Sit down for an hour. Pen and paper. And ask yourself, what do I actually consider success in my life? What do I define as success? And then look at, am I defining that success based on what other people have achieved or what I really, really want? The minute you start comparing yourself and your progress to other people, you may as well cut yourself off at the knees and just sit there, because you won't get anywhere. Again, use inspirational people. And I don't mean use them in that awful way, but use people as inspiration. Wow, that person's doing that. I'd really love to be able to do something like that. How can I make that work for me within my guidelines, within my boundaries? You don't replicate someone else's behavior because then you're trying to be them. We can only be ourselves. You can take lessons that other people have, that you've witnessed in other people, and you can apply them to your own life. But at the end of the day, you can only be yourself. That's the best thing you can ever be. Right. Okay. I'll just bring myself back down to earth now, shall I? So, that is the guideline worksheet, and I will post that in the group. That, which will be part 2 of the document, or page 2 of the document, is a blank worksheet for you guys to print out if you want to, and it's got some summary notes on there. So you can sit down with that piece of paper, think about an issue that you're experiencing self-doubt with, and start looking at that for yourselves. Now, this is not all about psychoanalyzing yourself, okay? It's not. It's about looking at yourself without the blinkers on, okay? It's looking at all aspects of who you are. But start small. Start small. I don't expect anyone to, walk out their front door today and completely change their lives and do a 180. If you're doing that, you're not learning your lessons. You're not sort of gauging, how do I do this moving forward? Take your time. Feel what it's like when you have a sense of achievement. Acknowledge that. Incorporate all of these wonderful experiences that you've had in life. Because once you get past, oh my God, my life is shit, once you get past that and look at it as, my God, I have a wealth of experience to draw on, you start empowering yourself. Right. So I think that's it for me today. I think that's it. I wanted to mention that tomorrow is the last part of this series of Overcoming Self-Doubt. We're just going to tie up all the loose ends. And I'm actually going to put a proposal out there in the group if anyone wants to be part of a live Q&A as part of tomorrow's 7 o'clock call. So I'll put that out there in the group. And if you're interested, the first part will be just summarising overcoming self-doubt. And the second part will be about a Q&A, if anyone's interested in that. Okay, have a fabulous... Oh, and it's Thrash It Out Thursday tomorrow. Don't forget, if you hear a song today and it bumps your energy up, post it in the group tomorrow for Thrash It Out Thursday. Love you all so much. Mwah! Have a fabulous day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.